Do you want to know what sneakers to buy here in 2022? Well, lucky for you, I've compiled a list of sneakers I believe are a great option to buy right now. You know, the kind of buy it now or regret it later kind of deal. And I think we've got some really good options right now of sneakers that are just at a pretty solid price for what they are and also have a lot of potential to just go up to a price point where you're just not going to be happy about. And I'm going to give you my reasons as why I think it's a good idea to buy here in 2022 rather than wait and regret it for later down the line. Either way, you know I don't like to wait around, so let's jump straight into the first one, and that is the New Balance 2002R. And I think for a lot of people, the first sneaker that comes to mind when I say New Balance 2002R is any one of the colorways of the Protection Pack. Now, we are going to talk about the Protection Pack, but I am also going to include the GR colorways. So the Protection Pack dropped and it kind of didn't catch on immediately. If you take a look at the StockX price graph, you can see exactly when it started to rise right up to the top in terms of its price. Now, as you'll see, recently it restocked and now it's dipped back down. So I kind of see pretty much any colorway of the Protection Pack to go right back up to where it was. I don't see them restocking anytime soon, as New Balance has just announced that they are going to drop a lot more colorways. And like I said, we're also going to talk about the GR colorways of the 2002R model, because as you know, right now, a lot of recent collaborations are all choosing this specific model. And what that's led to is a lot of the GR colorways just selling out pretty quickly. So if you can grab a nice colorway of the 2002R model, I think it's a really great option, and hopefully if you can get it now at the retail price rather than wait and regret it and they're all kind of reselling for a price premium, I'm sure you'll be happy with that. Next up, we're talking about the Jordan 4 Red Thunder. I don't even need to tell you guys, the Jordan 4 is super hyped right now. These things sell out and they end up reselling for a ton of money. And the Red Thunders is a really solid colorway that I can see going up in price pretty quickly. I mean, they've already been creeping up in price ever since they released. The Jordan 4 hype is just getting bigger and bigger. And if you wanted like a similar colorway of the Jordan 4 model to compare, I would say take a look at the Black Cat 4s and how quick those things spiked in price. And then also just take a look at the regular Thunders. I know that they dropped a while back, but still, take a look at the price point. These Red Thunders can definitely do the same in terms of that price. So I would say if the Red Thunder was a sneaker that you were somewhat interested in, if it was a sneaker that you had your eye on, now is probably the best time to pull the trigger. All right, the next sneaker we're going to talk about, I'm going to mention a little bit more loosely, meaning that I think it will go up, but I don't think it's necessarily going to explode in price given the current market for this sneaker model. And that is the Jordan 1 Rebellionaire. Say what you want about this Jordan 1 colorway, but people seem to really like this colorway, and I really like this colorway too. And right now, honestly, I think it is at the lowest price point that I think it's ever going to go for. Now, with that being said, I will mention that there are at least two other colorways slightly similar to the Rebellionaires that I think people would most probably choose over the Rebellionaires, namely obviously the Shadows and the Shadow 2.0. But if you take a look at the price of both of those and how much they kind of went up, now of course why I'm mentioning this loosely is we can have a whole discussion about the hype of the Jordan 1 or the demand of the Jordan 1 being slightly lower than it used to be, and that is definitely a thing. So if the Jordan 1 Rebellionaire was a sneaker you had your eye on, if it's something you wanted to rock, which I think it's a great colorway, now might be the best time to get it. Again, I'm not saying 100%, I can't see the future, but I can definitely see this sneaker eventually going up to a price point that you would rather not pay. Right, next up is actually two sneakers, and I wanted to put them together because I feel like they have a lot in common, and that is the Yeezy 350 Beluga and of course the Oreo. So let's start with the Yeezy 350 Oreo. Listen, when these things dropped, it was an Adidas Confirmed app exclusive. It definitely wasn't as, I guess, widely available as most Yeezy 350s are nowadays. For me personally, as soon as I took that L on the Adidas Confirmed app, I knew I had to go and pick these things up, as being a Yeezy 350 that I just really wanted from back in the day, seeing the price go from $600-700 down to about $230, which is what I paid for my pair, I'm like, hell yeah. And I think a decent amount of people also feel the same way. They like the colorway, it's simple, it's easy to rock, so I can definitely see this pair of 350s going up in time. Now the Belugas are a little bit different. They weren't as limited as the Oreos. They had a much wider release. A lot more people managed to get their pairs of this pair of sneakers. You can see that on the aftermarket in terms of its current price. There's a lot of nostalgia behind this pair of shoes. I know I, for one, when I first saw this sneaker back in the day, I really wanted to get my hands on it, and ever since it's kind of been one of those sneakers I've always wanted but just never wanted to pay that price. But at the end of the day, we know Yeezy brand likes to restock pretty much everything, so there's always a a chance that Yeezy brand could restock both of these colorways, both of these sneakers once again, but I highly doubt it, and that's why I'm putting these on the list. But again, as with all of the recommendations I'm making, I can't make any promises because I can't see the future. It's all just my personal opinion. Now let's talk about a recent release which I think is pretty much at its lowest price point right now, and that is the Union Dunks. Dunks are still popping, let's be honest. No matter how many colorways they drop, the hype is still 100% there, and Union is like one of the hottest Nike and Jordan brand collaborators right now. And I do actually think that they did a solid job with this triple pack of Dunks that they did. It's something different, it's something new, and they're really summer ready fire colorways. I think the hype is definitely going to carry through on these sneakers, and right now they're at the lowest price point I believe they're gonna go. I can only see these things going up in the future. So if any of these colorways were something that you personally wanted, you had your eye on, you took an L on the original release, and you were looking towards the aftermarket, I wouldn't imagine these things go down any lower. You can already see with the pistachio colorway, I understand that that one was a little bit more limited, but you can see how high that resale price is, and if people are willing to pay that for that colorway, I can imagine the other two follow and the pistachios just keep on going higher. Two more I want to mention, and the first one being the Sakai Vapor Waffle in the sale and the black colorway. This one seems like a no-brainer to me. I mean, if you look historically at the other Sakai Vapor Waffles, all of them have just exploded in price to a ridiculous price point. I mean, take a look at the original colorways. There ain't no way I'm gonna spend a rack to grab any of those. So in my opinion, when these latest two arrived on the scene, especially that black one is particularly low, but the sale colorway, especially during the summertime, is a banging pair of sneakers. So if you were looking at the Sakai Vapor Waffle, I believe these two colorways are probably the lowest in terms of the price point. But either way, I think that these two colorways are definitely going to go up in the future. So if you want to get them, I know it's not a nice price point, it's still pretty high, but hey, it's probably the cheapest ones that you're going to get and the most wearable, simple colorways. Final one on my list, and it is the Yeezy Wave Runner. Now the Yeezy Wave Runner is on this list with the predication that it's not going to restock again anytime soon. However, I will say I think they're going to take a little bit of a break from restocking it. I'm not saying 100%, but let's say at least until next year. And I think the demand for the Yeezy Wave Runner is so high that even in that time frame of next year, they will go up to a price point that you would have preferred to pay what they're at right now. If you take a look at the StockX graph, you can see every single time this sneaker has restocked, it has gone right back up in price. So again, if it's a sneaker that you wanted, again, it's a very iconic, good looking pair of Yeezys. I think right now it is at its lowest price point that it's been. If you were eyeing up the Yeezy 700 Wave Runner, I can't think of a better time to buy them than now. Listen guys, that has pretty much been it. Those are the sneakers that I think are the best to buy right now here in 2022. Let me know what you think of my list, or if you would add any to that list. Again, drop it down in the comment section, but thank you so much for coming through, hanging out for yet again another video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one, but until then.